All right, then. I'm Noah, and this is Noah's Arts Entertainment. Thank you for tuning in. Took a little break for those who have been following me and had to do some other stuff, and now I'm back. And I thought I'd talk. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. And those that are new, uh, I welcome you. And well, I hope everyone's fine, and I hope you won't be disturbed for at least the next 20 minutes. And I'm going to try to be brief. And this is a topic that I just thought of doing because just to kind of like some people and some of us, depends on what level you're at as far as level of evolution. Uh, but we'll focus on the physical because we like pretty things. I know I do. And we like nice things. Usually when we go somewhere, it's like, wow, yeah, no wonder this. I like this. It's expensive. We have expensive taste. Some of us, and some of us have cheap taste, raunchy taste. Some women that are just excellent bodies, but they do not know how to dress. Poor taste in clothing and style. Um, I know this for a fact. I've been out there shopping for them, if you know what I mean. Excellent bodies, outrageous bodies, yet no good taste in clothing, jewelry or anything. I like that. I like that in a woman. And I just like scents, um, exotic kind of, yeah. But, it's all in order, of course. The goddess of let's say the goddess of Venus, you know, and Santeria, she's known as Ochun, and so it's usually a very bubbly type of, not just very exotic, flirtatious, and a lot of charm, a lot of sex appeal, all that stuff put out there, clothing, jewelry, and all, and she's mostly represented by but wearing copper, brass, gold, you know. So yeah, so we don't as men. Well, I know I do what I like, and so when we don't like, it's not so much about we don't like, right? Because we can see a person, um, let's say, out in the street, we can see a person that doesn't. There's nothing offensive about the person at all, right? There's nothing offensive, to get alarmed or, but still, that person doesn't remind us of, let's say, let's go back to Venus, the sexuality, right? Because this is what it's going to be about too. It's about sex appeal, uh, body parts. I said the title is "Let's Talk Body Parts," right? And the reason for that is because, again, uh, we're going to focus in on the physical, you know, and we're going to blur out the spiritual, okay? And we all know that the these are body parts. It's like a car, a truck, or whatever you want to be, SUV. um, but or So it's what carries us around. It's just what we use to transport from point A to point B and point C and this and that. But thing is that this thing we don't see. We can pick up on a person's spirit energy, and so yeah, some of us can see right. It's like the soul of the person through the eyes, right? The soul, the eyes are the windows to the soul, as they say. And this, I believe that's true. I believe that a lot of people say, express something with their eyes, but something else comes through their mouth. So the soul, yeah. So here in this theme, okay, let's talk about body parts. So we're going to start. Again, you'll have to use your imagination because I don't have images here that I'm gonna play images in your mind. And I'm just gonna mention that we're gonna start with heads, okay? Let's say, and which is for men and women, okay? Heads, big heads, right? uh, it's like big foreheads, something, it's weird. And I don't know, I've been told no. And so then there's small heads. It seems like their heads are smaller than their, they don't really match up with the body, right? Uh, and then foreheads, I mean, it's almost like not a forehead. The hairline is down here, and you just see the eyebrows and the eyes. Hey, I said it would be body part. We just got to briefly go ears. Let's go with the ears. Ears, big ears, right? Kind of elephant looking. And then we have those normal. And then we have the real small, tiny little ears, and hey, you know, um, hmm, right? So everyone has like say, okay, well, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I see a lot, you know, their heart on the eyes. As one of my sisters says, that person is hard on the eyes. Hey, some people are hard to look at. But again, we're just going with strictly with the spiritual. I mean, it was strictly blurring out the spiritual and focusing on the physical. That means also the mentality goes along with the physical, okay, with the strictly physical aspects and effects, how does it make you feel to have a small forehead or a big head or so forth? Now let's go with the eyes. The eyes can be old bug eye, big old bug eyes, right? Kind of freaky looking, and uh, and then you can have just normal, uh, standard, and then you can have very sexy eyes with a lot of expression, soul. Let's call it soul expression, but but no, it's a big difference too between a spiritual being that's not going to look you in a sexual way, except maybe the goddess of what it depends on what it pertains to, right? The goddess who corresponds and is the power of sexuality, which we spoke about earlier. Venus. All right, so Oshun, and there's Elohim Sabaoth. It just depends again on the culture. India has the Hindu, and the Buddhists have their goddess, and I can't think of it now, but yeah, I should know it, but I don't. Okay, so then we go with the nose. The nose could be a big long nose, could be a type of parrot type of nose, like a hook, some kind of thing. It could be a white nose, you know. It could be a nose with big nostrils, like so. Ugh. And so it could be a lot of different things, right? We'll continue on. The mouth, all right? The mouth could be a big old mouth, like that one singer, what is it, for Queen or one of those guys? Big old mouth. It's like from here to here, you know? And and then you got a little tiny mouth, um, and you got a normal size mouth, The same thing, and let's go with the lips. The lips can be big, fat, juicy lips. It's the way I like them. Big, fat, juicy lips. Um, just naturally like that, not all injected or whatever. No, 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 that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking natural body parts. Everyone, you know, as an individual featuring body parts, whatever they have, whatever they look like, and whoever they are, it's not personal. We're talking strictly focusing in again on the physical, blurring out the spiritual, not seeing the soul, not seeing the person for who they are, just the plain physical, being able to just see what's in front of you, but not beyond what's in front of you. And that's the point. All right. So then let's go with the neck. Well, the face. I mean, could be a big old fat, kind of look like what do you call those fish that are blowfish? And or it could be real thin, face, and it could be normal. It could be squared, whatever. It could be round. All right. So then the neck. The neck. My God, the neck. Some people have a lot of rings around the collar. Now, rings around the neck, and hey, some do not. They have a nice smooth. Then they have those long necks. The women, some women that have long necks usually, I believe, have long legs as well. Usually they come with long necks, So it's it's the phenomena, right? The phenomena of what we each have, that it's a natural thing to have, and it would be unnatural not to have it. That's the thing. That brings me to a joke. A girlfriend of mine, she'd say, what other wild than many? She'd say, "Oh yeah, I picked up this guy last night. And, I don't know, he was like 6'4" and stuff like that. And took him home, and he took his pants off, and his the bitch, she says, "Where's the rest of you?" She was expecting something abnormal, 6'4", but it wasn't there. So she says, "Well, it's been nice." She was a bee, a capital B, but yeah, that's her nature, and that's the way it is. Let's move on. All right, so then the shoulders. There's broad shoulders, and there's normal size shoulders, and then there's puny, small, puny, where almost there are no shoulders. It's just, you know, somewhere where the arm attaches to the joint here, but there's really not a shoulder. Hey, let's move on. Um, so then we have chest, flabby chest, big chest. I was always known for my big chest back in the day. Small waist, big chest. It was part of the thing, part of the body, how it formed when you work out. Um, you know, and you don't do much working out, but you do work out. You do work out with weights and all that stuff, but not the bulk thing. I would never was like that. I never cared for that. And a friend of mine did that. He was short, so he looked ridiculous because he kind of looked like the Hulk, but in a short version of it. So not good, not good. To be big arms and not have the height to support it. Not good, not a good idea. Um, but me, I always stood 5'9". I'm not tall. I'm not short. I'm just right. And then we go on with the chest, uh, puny chest, no chest, flat chest, hairy chest, um, no hair at all. The Metro look they used to call it. I think, and that's something when they used to shave their. Uh, no, I don't never really did subscribe to that. But either way, so we move on to the arms. The arms could be, big, nice, 17, 16-inch arms. It could be 18-inch arms. It's just like, again, I've never been about the bulk thing, as far as like the real, because I don't know, maybe if I was 6'4" or something like that, I would like to think that would be, well coordinated. But otherwise, again, all right. So then the height. Let's we already bypassed the height. The height. All right. So we got tall guys. Obviously, we got tall women. Uh, gee, and they still like to wear heels, regardless. And some elements no. Some elements are. I don't know. Maybe they don't. They feel something about. Could be some inferiority about the height, just because they seem to intimidate men. Um, And so, but on the other side, women, short women don't get intimidated by big men or tall men. Um, Not quite the opposite. So, but the thing is that look, it's like they say, it's not uh, who you are or what is this. It's about what you're made out of. Okay, so in other words, it doesn't matter where you're from, what country, what nationality, uh, because it always will come down to, are you trustworthy? Are you strong-minded? Okay, because it's nobody wants to deal with cowards, and nobody wants to deal. But there's all other psychological aspects that I will cover in some other, maybe part two of this when we talk body parts. Okay, but not for now. Now we just continue with the arms. Okay, then the wrist. The wrist could be tiny little wrist, right? Tiny little wrist. Oh yeah, the women. I mean, the height. The height. It could be what? The women could be. I don't know, but 4'5", 4'6", and then there's like women that are six. I don't know, my 6'2", six. That's about the tallest I've been. 6'2". Uh, um, but anyhow, the thing is, okay. So let's go beyond the height now. Talk about weight, skinny, skinny, skinny. Like a model that can't eat what they should eat, or just because they have their profession, it calls for them to weigh uh, still 10, 15 pounds less than what their normal weight should be. So um, I don't know if it's still like that because we got the voluptuous, big voluptuous models nowadays. And I know her. I can't think of her name. I see her. She's a brunette. She's the first one. Very pretty, very big, luscious lips, breast, everything. She's voluptuous, and she's a Scorpio. Yes, yes. I thought so. Anyhow, so then we move on to waist. Some women, some men do not have waist. There is no, it's pretty much like so. Okay? There's no in and out. It's just like that. and then there's the high waisted ones, right? They're kind of high waisted. And then there's the ones that are normal. And there's the ones with a tiny little waist. Look good for them because it's big, tiny, tiny. I mean, and then it looks a little weird too. But um, having tummies, nobody likes tummies. Women don't like men with tummies, or stomachs. As far as I know, as far as last I checked, and vice versa. I don't like women with well, you don't know if they're just beer drinkers or they're pregnant. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but we're talking physical again, blurring out the spiritual soul. Whatever comes out of my mouth, blurs out of my mouth, is because of the physical aspects. And all right, very good. So then we go. Let's see here. Let's go with the legs. The legs. My God, some some men have chicken legs, considered chicken legs. I mean, they're weird. Other ones have Roman legs, like I do. I was gifted with that, and yeah. So then there's the kind that are just well, I don't know. They look like they're swollen. Everything's swollen. Their legs are not shaped and formed, sort of, kind of like. All right, so then we go with the knees. The knees, I don't know, the knees, what can you say about knees? Except that they fail sometimes with people after a while, because of an injury or because of deterioration of, you know, like arthritis, form of arthritis or rheumatism or some kind of something. So yeah, and it happens a lot to people like were joggers for years. I was a jogger for most of my life, until I got plantar fasciitis. We'll get to the feet then. Anyhow, so then, yeah, the knees. Well, look, I mean, that's I don't know. So let's just move on to the thighs. The thighs, well, that's considered the leg. Yeah, the thighs could be like no thighs or skinny thighs, fat thighs, very Romanesque, nice thighs. I love legs on a woman. Women with these type of shape of Romanesque thighs, and then the calves. Oh my goodness, it's it's enticing for me. I mean, it just I like it. I like legs. Uh, doesn't mean that I don't. Oh my God, we passed breast. My God, we talked about the chest, big chest. I suppose that's it. Big chest. It means big, nice. Well, it could be depends on the taste, right? I mean, it could be too big. Sometimes they're too big. They're too wide. They're too wide. There's too much weight there, and not enough. Yeah, the substance is there, but it's not sexy. Okay. And in other cases, it's big and it's right there. It's about, and it kind of points out, and those are wow. And then yeah. So we bypassed also the genitals. You see, I didn't plan this. I didn't plan to even talk about this, but it's been on my mind, and I didn't write it down or memorize it or rehearse it or practice it or anything. So I am passing some of the parts that are actually very important, and considered genitals, right? The genitals. Okay, well, then we talked about the breast. Sometimes the nipple could be like a big old, what they call the silver dollar nipples, you know, and then but I mean what do they call it? The thing around. Um, the ring around the nipples. Uh, what? Can you believe it? That's shameful. I can't believe I can. But anyhow, you know what I mean. They're called silver dollars. And then there's tiny ones, and then there's big ones, and then there's ones that are the nipples are just I don't know. They look like I don't know. They kind of stick out like so, and it's kind of weird. I don't know. Some like I said, for each everybody likes what they like, right? I think I had a video. I produced a movie, not a movie, a video about we like what we like. Okay, I remember that a couple of months ago. Either way, we move on to the yoni, the infamous triangle. Um, yeah, well, there's a lot to say about that. We'll go with the lips. The lips down there could be as big as or bigger than the lips here on top. I know this. And sometimes it's tricky, but that's not the case. The woman might have thin lips, you know, but big, thick lips down there, labia. Uh, and then there's those yonis that are just like it has a slit, like an opening, and there are no lips. Very, very little, very minimal. Uh, and then there are the ones that are just completely out there. I mean, like a big butterfly. That's crazy. But, hey, just like women have a fascination with, what are the forearm, the thing is what's popular, the forearm, the size of the forearm. I don't know how it got to be there, but, well, it's always been a fascination with big things, right? Big breast. And this big labius, I mean, it's like a big butterfly just opening their wings, and it's like, hello. And they're thick too, and I don't know, they could be varying color, dark, purplish, could be just pink. For some reason, like Scandinavian women, like Denmark and Swedish and women like that, although they're the natural blondes with the natural, the skin color there, their pigmentation is different, Their lips down there, what I've experienced is they're dark. They have, of course, pink in the inside, but on the outside it's like dark, grayish, purplish, um, just dark. And I say, well, what? And so it looks more like well, Italian, Latina, or a Greek or something like that, but or you know everything. But this is what's weird. Their color. That they're the natural blondes, and they have blonde hair down there, but their lips are dark. I'm telling you. Let's move on. And then, of course, the same thing with the men. There's the dark penis. They're uh, brownie. uh, it's dark. I don't know why. A person could be white skinned, but yet the genitals are dark. So the dark penis, and then there's the pink, I guess, penis, and then there's the yellowish, and then there's the good-looking, handsome phallus. And then and then there's the I don't know, the ones with just the big schlong, that kind of elephant trunk type of looking, and then there's the horse-like type of thing, So hey, it all depends what you're into, right? But again, this whole thing, I'm not just talking to mock these aspects, physical aspects of an individual. Uh, it's about uh, we're intentionally doing it. I am intentionally doing this so I can separate this physical from the spiritual. Okay. Again, the spiritual, what is it? The spirit energy, the soul of the being, good soul, bad soul, I don't know, demonic, evil, good, angelic, saintly. Hey, but that's the other aspect of it. This is the physical. And the physical, well, we can use these body parts if that we know that we are in demand. We can take them and use them and use them and use them and use them over and over as much as we can, as much we want, until we finally say, hey, you know, we'll put a stop to this now. But it has to come to that. Anyhow, so we can also use them as weapons of mass distraction, weapons of mass destruction. Can somebody falls in love with all that, or it's infatuation instead of infatuation, or both. Um, Geez, if you're really not a loving person, but you got something that they love, you're not really loving inside, but you have something that they love, for a fact. Then is you got it going on, but then they're using you, you're using them, because I think anyone with a heart knows that the other person doesn't have one. It just and yeah, sure, opposites attract and all that crap. But then again, life can be hell too. Depends what you're gonna choose. So anyhow, so then I guess we go down to the feet, big feet, right? The guys wear what 14, 15-inch foot, and then there's the 10 or the 11, which is where I'm at, and then there's the smaller foot, like I don't know, 8 foot, 7 foot, 9 foot, still. And then of course anything smaller than that, well, it's because the person is truly at a small height. You know, there are men also that I've seen that I don't know, they're not, they're pretty short. I mean, I don't know, 4'7". I don't know. It's hard to say, but either way. So I think tonight this is enough. I think tonight you get the point here. It's just like you need to contemplate on all these body parts, and see the imperfections you may have, and then of course that if you have some of these things that are a gift to you, you know, whether it be looks. We didn't talk about looks. Somebody could be very hard on the eyes, the other person could be, you know, eh, kind of creepy looking, and they could be kind of like not a likable type of person, face looking. It could be, I don't know. We're not, we didn't. I didn't cover colors, but I mean colors are automatic, right? I mean we're not. We're talking about men, women of all colors, of all religions. Okay. Any Homo sapien, Homo sapien. That's what we are, right? We're Earthlings. We're Homo sapiens, uh, above all. All right. So then I think I want to say good night for tonight, and I want you to think about those body parts and all that stuff, and see how Yeah, sure. You continue using these weapons for good or for bad, or for your own advantage, your own selfishness, and or you could use it to your advantage, of course. Where hey, like I said, most people like something. Look at something that's candy, eyes. What do you say? Candy to the eyes. Something exotic, erotic looking. So it just varies. Okay, so I thank you for tuning in. I was gone again for a while, and if you're new, and if you've been around and you like this kind of stuff, and you've been around because you have liked what I put out, and that's the other thing. I am on LinkedIn. I am on, I guess, on Twitter, and then on SoundCloud. So on SoundCloud, I have. Audio stuff, like singing some tunes that I pick, and I said, well, I'm gonna rehearse this one, and so they're basically rehearsals, but obviously something that shows improvement each time, something that has been enhanced. So I put it on recording, and then later I'm going to choose three, and I'm going to do a medley of them at the studio with video and the whole thing, And then I recite some rituals, and I narrate some stuff. And so look at SoundCloud under King Noah, and LinkedIn, it's under Noah Cortez, Noah's Arts Entertainment, as well on this channel here. And again, if you're new, I welcome you. And please, like everybody else, let's do this. I mean, we need to like, subscribe, and share. Share it. If you think this is something special, share it. If not, hey, I'm sorry that you feel that way. But all right. Hasta luego, hasta amigos, hasta la vista. Bye bye.